A strange recording from a security camera, shared by Reddit user Gigate9281, has sparked intense speculation on the internet. The video shows a glowing, ghostly figure moving smoothly from right to left across the screen, triggering the camera's motion detection alarms. In his original post, the user asked the community for theories about this strange anomaly, noting that the shadows accompanying the figure only deepened the mystery. Viewers quickly reacted with varied opinions, humorously comparing the illuminated figure to the iconic character from The Simpsons, Mr. Burns, in the episode where he is mistaken for an alien. Others related it to the Fresno Nightcrawler, a cryptid that has also been captured by night security cameras and is widely debated in paranormal circles. Despite these theories, the clip has also disturbed many viewers who remain genuinely puzzled about what exactly was captured on video. Now is the time. You have only 5 seconds to subscribe and like this video. If you don't do it, this entity will visit you tonight. Lauriston Castle, located on the outskirts of Edinburgh, overlooking the picturesque Firth of Forth Estuary, combines its deep historical value with unsettling paranormal tales. This 16th century tower house expanded in the 19th century, has its origins on crown lands dating back to the 13th century. It was destroyed during the Rough Wooing conflict in 1544 and rebuilt in 1590 by Sir Archibald Napier, father of the mathematician John Napier. Over the centuries, prominent owners such as the Lowe family or the banker Thomas Allen shaped its legacy. At the start of the 20th century, cabinet maker William Robert Reed acquired the property, and after the death of his wife in 1926, the castle was donated to the nation, preserving its Edonian interiors intact. However, its historical charm is overshadowed by numerous stories of apparitions. One of the most well-known legends is the Lady in Grey, who is believed to be the ghost of a maid named Janet, who tragically took her own life. Visitors claim to see her silhouette, feel sudden drops in temperature, and experience a deep sadness in certain corners of the place. In January 2020, the mentalist Drew McAdam captured a ghostly figure dressed in period clothing in a window that was unoccupied, generating a lot of attention. Another shocking sighting occurred in August 2023 when visitors photographed the spectral image of a woman holding a child in the servant's kitchen. It is speculated that it could be Sophia, the wife of Andrew Loss Rutherford. There have also been reports of unexplained footsteps attributed to a ghostly butler who continues to perform his duties even after his death. Former employees of the castle have reported seeing figures enter rooms that they later found to be completely empty. Today, Lauriston Castle embraces its haunted reputation and offers events that allow visitors to immerse themselves in Edinburgh's dark past, with stories of trials, witchcraft, and mysterious happenings. Lauriston Castle remains one of the most fascinating and paranormal destinations in all of Scotland. A chilling photograph posted by Reddit user Timber2077 has generated intrigue and unease in the online community. The unsettling image was taken during a family hike in Bunya Mountains National Park in Queensland, Australia. According to the author of the post, it was a quiet winter day, far from the high season, when he stopped to photograph the sun's rays dramatically filtering through the forest canopy. When reviewing the photos later with his children, his daughter noticed something disturbing. A mysterious figure dressed in an old black dress clearly appearing out of place in that lonely spot. The author assures that at the moment of taking the photograph, there was no one visible matching that description, and claims that the path in front of them was completely clear. This discovery led to more unsettling revelations. When he showed the photo to his boss, she reacted with shock and fear. She said that her own daughter had suffered a sudden and severe panic attack in that very place a year earlier, sensing the presence of something sinister that was watching them. The disturbing similarities between these separate appearances have only deepened the mystery. The author remains unsure about the true nature of this apparition, but the ghostly image has left an indelible impression, forever marking the memories of what seemed like a peaceful family outing. A chilling video uploaded by TikTok user Eric Hunter 1, titled Ghost Apparition in the Tiulu Road, is leaving viewers caught between intrigue and fear. The recording captured from inside a vehicle on a deserted road at night. Initially, everything appears normal until something strange emerges from the darkness. As the vehicle moves forward, a ghostly figure appears in the headlights. The mysterious entity does not walk. Instead, it seems to glide smoothly to one side of the road, floating for a moment before silently returning to the other side. This unsettling movement has led many to suggest that it could be a genuine apparition. The comments on the viral video range from admiration to skepticism, with an intense debate about whether it is staged or truly something paranormal. A disturbing photograph shared by Reddit user Brad2299 has sparked debate and intrigue on the internet. It shows a chilling reflection that went unnoticed at the moment the photo was taken. The image, captured in 2019, clearly shows the figure with an appearance creepy reflected in the background, causing confusion and discomfort among those who observe it. According to the person who posted it, the terrifying figure dressed in a striking Abonada t-shirt was not present at the place at the time of the photo. In fact, no one was wearing a similar garment, and the figure does not appear in other photographs taken just a few seconds later. This puzzling discrepancy has left both the author of the post and the viewers perplexed. However,
the reactions
have been mixed. Many commentators have pointed out the disturbing resemblance between the reflected figure and the infamous fictional character Michael Myers, suggesting that it could be a mask and not an actual ghostly apparition. Even so, the image continues to provoke intense reactions, and the uncertainty about its origin fuels speculation about what or who was really captured in the reflection. A flight from the airline Aeronair headed to France took an unexpected turn when Chloe Smith, a 27-year-old psychic medium from Ashburn, claimed to have seen a ghostly figure on board the plane. According to Smith, the apparition, which was sitting 5 rows ahead, right next to another passenger, turned toward her and waved, a gesture she interpreted as an acknowledgement of her ability to perceive spirits. Smith, who claims to have daily interactions with the spiritual world, described the encounter as something magical. He speculated that the spirit could have been a former pilot or a deceased relative accompanying a traveler. Nervous, he decided not to tell his brother, who was sitting nearby, noting that he already thought she was too strange. The supernatural experiences didn't end with the flight. When he arrived at his parents' house in France, Smith felt the presence of an older male spirit who was upset about the renovations they were doing to the house. He also claimed to have felt spiritual connections in a nearby cemetery. Smith believes that spirits are attracted to her. She claims that anything from a car ride to a sunny vacation abroad can catch your attention, no matter where you are, because you are never truly alone. This incident adds to a series of paranormal experiences reported in the field of aviation. The ghostly legacy of Flight 401 continues to captivate and intrigue both aviation enthusiasts and paranormal investigators. After the tragic accident that occurred on December the 29th, 1972, in the Florida Everglades, in which 101 people died, including the pilot Bob Love and the flight engineer Don Repo, numerous unsettling sightings began to emerge. After the disaster, Eastern Airlines recovered and reused parts from the crashed plane in other aircraft in its fleet. Shortly after, crew members and passengers began to report puzzling encounters. The apparitions of Love and Repo were frequently reported, appearing as realistic figures, silently observing flight operations or warning about possible mechanical failures. One widely reported case involved a flight attendant who clearly saw the figure of Don Repo sitting in the airplane's galley. Repo supposedly warned about an imminent mechanical problem, which led the crew to carry out an immediate inspection that confirmed the failure. Similar sightings occurred repeatedly, creating an atmosphere of unease among the crews assigned to those aircraft. Eastern Airlines officially denied the reports of ghosts, but quietly removed the recovered parts from the involved planes, which coincidentally put an end to the paranormal reports. These chilling stories persist in aviation history as a symbol of the mysteries that still linger in our skies. In the quiet suburb of Gladysville in Sydney, Australia, a seemingly ordinary brick house located on Gerrard Street hides a dark and very disturbing story. Nicknamed the most haunted house in Sydney, this residence gained notoriety in April 1980 when the Evans family fled from there, claiming to have been terrorized by a series of completely inexplicable paranormal phenomena. Their story made headlines and attracted the attention of both the public and renowned American paranormal investigators, Ed and Lorraine Warren. The Warrens, famous for their involvement in the Amityville case, visited the house on Gerrard Street, and according to reports, they were so disturbed by what they witnessed that they warned the family, "Leave or you will die." Later, Lorraine Warren described the house as more evil than Amityville, a chilling testimony to the evil presence they perceived there. Over the years, the dark reputation of the house faded away until investigative journalist and author James Phelps decided to revisit the property. For his book, Australian Ghost Stories, Phelps conducted a very thorough investigation. He interviewed former residents, neighbors, and even spoke with the original journalist who covered the story in 1980. His findings were disturbing. Consistent reports spoke of unexplained phenomena, objects moving on their own, ghostly apparitions, and a constant feeling of distress. A former resident recounted discovering a series of dungeon-like rooms beneath the house, each with locks, and to this day no one knows what their purpose was. Another witness said she heard heavy footsteps approaching her, even though she was completely alone, and this caused her a paralyzing fear. These testimonies, along with the history of the place, fuel its reputation as a site of intense paranormal activity. Despite its haunted past, the house is still inhabited today by residents who apparently are unaware of its infamous history. The real estate agent Alex Frary commented that properties like this tend to sell very quickly, since the occupants experience inexplicable phenomena that push them to leave. However, the stigma of a haunted house does not always deter buyers. Proof of this is that the house on Gerrard Street sold for $1.64 million, exceeding its initial price by 100%, $40,000. And you? What do you think? Would you pay exceeding its initial price by $140,000? And what do you think? Would you pay more than $1 million to live in a house that Lorraine Warren described as more evil than Amityville? Let me know in the comments. A mysterious photograph posted by Reddit user Melonuno15210 is generating a lot of attention on the internet, since many believe it may have captured a ghostly presence in an otherwise completely normal backyard. The incident happened in July 2023 when the user's sister and her fiancé were visiting their parents' house. The couple had spent the day clearing weeds and vegetation in the yard, a place often visited by the family. Later that night, she took some pictures of the cleared area, intending to capture images of her fiancé. He was working near a picnic table that he had moved earlier that day. However, when she reviewed the photos later, she noticed a disturbing detail. A strange figure was near the table, something they didn't see in person, and that was only visible in the picture. The user confirmed that at that moment, his sister and her fiancé were the only ones present in the yard, with no pets or other people around. The unexpected appearance of that figure led to an immediate and alarmed FaceTime call among the family members. To add to the mystery, they revealed that the picnic table had remained unmoved for years, until it was shifted that very day. Both she and her sister also mentioned having felt uncomfortable and a strange sensation in their parents' house for a long time, pointing out that strange things had already happened before. After this, they installed a Ring security camera, but so far they haven't captured anything unusual. The figure captured in the photo remains an isolated incident, but very disturbing. On July 24th, Kaylin Curtis took her baby to the park in front of her house in Arizona. After sitting down next to a fountain, a strange-looking man approaches her. He sits on the bench next to her and asks if she wants to buy his drawings. According to the woman, the drawings looked as if they had been made by a child or by someone who had no artistic talent at all. After refusing to buy his drawings, the woman decided to leave, so she stood up and started walking away with her baby in her stroller. As she was leaving, she noticed the man getting into a suspicious-looking truck across the park. The truck circled around several times while the woman was getting home. Fearing that she might be followed to her house, Kaylin decided to take a different route and entered her house through the back door, so that the man in the truck wouldn't know where she lived. 3 days later, while the woman was away on a trip, her door camera caught the same man approaching to ring the doorbell at 3 in the morning. Let's watch. Thank you. According to the woman, her husband was asleep at that time, so he didn't find out about this man's visit until the next day. After the video was posted on TikTok, many people believed that the fact the man came to her door was not a coincidence, and that it was very possible the man had been watching her even before approaching her in the park. Maybe this person intended to distract her with the drawings while someone in the truck kidnapped her baby. However, we may never know his intentions. This incident could be seen as just a man under the influence of drugs or maybe with a mental illness. If this woman hadn't been cautious, who knows what could have happened? Fortunately, the man never came back, and neither the woman nor her family have seen this person again. In October of 2021, Reddit user Promomancer posted this video of a man crawling through his neighbor's backyard in the middle of the night. Let's take a look. There isn't much information about this video, but many believe that this person's behavior is due to substance use or maybe a mental illness. Although the man isn't hurting anyone, he's definitely not the kind of person you'd want to run into when coming home in the middle of the night. The man in the video has never been identified, and it's unknown if he has been seen again. The next video we're going to watch was recorded by a young woman who says that she and a friend had gone out one night to celebrate one of their birthdays, which would be the next day, so the celebration was held at midnight. The short video was supposed to commemorate the small celebration. However, something else would steal the show that night. Look at the images very carefully. In them, we can see a sinister figure standing behind one of the women. Now, it's not known whether it's just a paranormal entity or if it's something completely different. Whatever the answer is, the truth is that the image is definitely terrifying. This video was posted from a haunted house where a man named Eric Ganner lives, who has been documenting events for several years. This time, this man was awakened by terrifying sounds that seemed to come from the floors below. So the man decides to go check it out. Watch the footage that this man managed to capture. Although he looks everywhere, he can't find the source of those sounds or anything that would explain the strange noises. Soon after, the man chooses to return to his room. However, he goes downstairs to check the house again and captures the following events.
Right.
How do you put it on? I'm going to start with problems.
In the images, we can see a shadowy figure in the kitchen, maybe watching the man and judging by his behavior. It seems that he notices it too, since when he returns to the stairs, it's obvious that he's very scared. This entity has been terrorizing the man for several nights, and it's not known if Eric has something planned to get rid of this entity. But we will be keeping an eye on this mysterious case. The next video was posted by Disc Jockey Mix, who claims that the security camera in his niece's room managed to capture a chilling encounter. The girl told her family about her imaginary friend, but of course no one ever believed her stories or took them seriously. Well, it's very common for children to have an imaginary friend, but after the family started to notice that more and more strange events began to happen in the house, they decided to install several security cameras. Throughout this, and especially tonight, the two girls were playing in the room when something very interesting was captured. Watch. In the footage, you can see a white figure quickly moving from one side to the other. Its height is similar to that of a child. First, the apparition comes out of the wall, then moves to the other side of the room, passing in front of one of the girls. Finally, the figure shrinks down to the size of an insect until it simply fades away. The family doesn't believe this is caused by a reflection of light coming from the window or a spider web. Maybe it's the supposed imaginary friend who's playing with the two girls? There isn't much information about the following video besides the fact that it was recorded at a school in Bolivia a few years ago. The video starts with nothing out of the ordinary. However, it doesn't take long for things to get very scary. Watch closely.
With Mayor and then with Carlos and those of us here, Alikese, the other group, will do it faster now. The teacher, the trash can. Did the trash can move? Is the trash can moving? Did you kick the trash can? Have you kicked it? Well, yes, it moved. Right now, how? How is it not? Hasn't the sun moved? What is that money for? I see 5 Bolivianos there. What is that for? For the window? Where? The trash can? Is the teacher moving? Did the trash can move? The teacher, the table?
First, a presentation sheet falls off the board, and at that moment the students and the teacher seem very confused. But the class continues without any major problem. The teacher puts the sheet back up and continues with his lesson. But shortly after, the trash can starts to move subtly. The students notice this movement and mention it to the teacher, but he refuses to stop the class to listen to them. Then, the trash can moves a second time, and the teacher does notice it. Seconds later, the teacher's desk also moves on its own, and because of this, everyone starts to feel scared and senses that something is not right. Suddenly, an object on the table flies off and lands on the other side of the room. At that moment, everyone panics and starts leaving the classroom in the middle of a panic attack. Unfortunately, the video ends right at that moment. If any of you have more information about these images, let me know, so I can add it to the story. The following series of chilling videos were recorded in various hospitals by people who accidentally managed to capture very strange events on their cameras. The first video was posted on TikTok by Jose Miguel Stark and was recorded in a hospital in San Jose. His grandmother, a cleaning staff member at this place, took him there at 6:40. While the woman was cleaning one of the hallways, she started to feel a little scared, so she decided to take out her phone to start recording. At first, the hallway seems to be empty. Then she hears noises coming from the other hallway. And when she turns around, you can see a mysterious white light passing through the hallway and going out the window, causing the window to slam shut. The following video was recorded inside a hospital room shortly after a patient passed away. Apparently, this person was the cameraman's father, who wanted to immortalize the place where his father passed away. In it, you can see a shadowy figure that suddenly floats by and then disappears without a trace. Guerrero Ramirez, a TikTok user, recorded a video showing something chilling. Let's watch closely. In the footage, we can see a shadowy figure walking down the hallway, but seconds later, when the camera captures this area, the figure has already completely disappeared. TikTok viewers were left very terrified after seeing these chilling images captured in hospitals. However, it still hasn't been proven that these are regular signs that these places are truly haunted. The following video was posted on the Japanese paranormal investigation channel Horror Anyway. The paranormal investigators decide to investigate an abandoned apartment complex where there is one in particular that is very famous for the paranormal events that happen there, especially because of reports of a shadowy figure that seems to be watching from one of its windows. The ghost hunters begin their investigation by exploring the old apartment complex. Eventually, they arrive at this haunted place where they decide to set up a night vision camera, then leave and let the device record. I must say, what they capture will give you chills. Let's take a look. In the footage, an orb appears out of nowhere and floats across the room. Then, a shadowy figure can be seen peeking out before hiding and disappearing from view. YouTube viewers were left terrified after seeing this footage, and many believe that it's a ghost that had been seen before in the apartment by many people. This has not been confirmed yet. In a TikTok video, Nancy Malcolm says she woke up one day in January of this year after taking a nap, and she felt the need to look at the baby monitor even though she knew it was with her husband in another room. And these were the images she managed to capture.
In early January, I woke up from a nap. I could hear my son and my husband Mike playing downstairs. For some reason, something told me to look at the baby monitor on an app I have on my phone. This is what I saw, and I immediately started screen recording.
In the footage, we can see a white orb floating above her son's toys. At that moment, the woman decides to go to another room to see what she can witness with her own eyes.
I walk into the room and could not see anything, with the naked eye floating around, bug dust, etc. I even turned on the light to see if I could see anything with the naked eye. Nothing.
After the woman enters the room, she can't see anything. However, the baby monitor camera did manage to capture something.
Whatever this was seemed to hover around my son's Play-Doh stuff and the chair. Right now, I'm watching it through the Ring app and going through the video on my phone.
This orb is still very visible on the baby monitor, floating around the room, even though Nancy, who's in the room, can see it through her phone. Despite being very close, she can't see it with her own eyes, so she decides to try what we're about to see next.
I asked whatever it was to touch my hand. I try again, but in a different spot, and something interesting happened. It seems to freak out a little when I held my hand out again, like it's thinking about touching it, but then freaks out and tries to find a way around my hand. So I decided to get up and leave the room. I told whatever it was that I was going to let them play with my son's toys as long as they respect our space, respect my son, and refrain from scaring him.
Nancy extends her hand, asking the presence to touch her. However, when the woman tries to bring her hand closer, the orb panics, as if desperately trying to avoid her touch. Seconds later, Nancy decides to leave the room, but not before telling the presence that it can play with her son's toys, as long as it respects her home and her son. And then this happens.
At this point, Mike gets a notification that there is movement in my son's room. He sees the ball of light through the Ring app on his phone, so he comes upstairs and we check it out together. We continue to see the ball of light in the dark, but not with the naked eye. We can only see it through the Ring app. On my phone, I left the room and now it's not there anymore.
What in the actual
Oh my God, where is that? So, I'm a part-time paranormal investigator as well, but the equipment kind of confuses me still. So, I'm trying to figure out if this is something with like infrared light or something like that. I'm not really quite sure I understand, but if anybody can help me, it seemed intelligent and it was responding to what I was doing.
The husband of Nancy, Mike, receives a notification on his phone about movement that was detected inside the baby's room. When he checks, he manages to see the same orb of light, but just like his wife, he can't see it with his own eyes, only through the camera. The orb soon vanishes without a trace. Nancy posted the images just to try to get help regarding this mysterious white orb of light. Many viewers believe that it's the spirit of a child and that it's probably completely harmless. One of the viewers says that it's the first time she's seen a video like this and that she thinks it could be real.